This video is part of the adult education series on reading in social studies. It covers geography and world history in the context of global expansion.
Any text passage may contain values and biases from the author. Values are the principles, beliefs, or standards that individuals or groups consider important. Biases, on the other hand, are tendencies to favor one perspective or group over another, often in a way that is unfair or unbalanced. Understanding both values and biases in a text helps readers critically evaluate the information presented and make informed judgments about its reliability and perspective. Introduction to values and biases. Values shape the way people see the world and influence their decisions and actions. For example, a society that values economic growth may prioritize building factories and infrastructure, even if it means using up natural resources. Another society might value environmental conservation more highly and choose to protect forests and wildlife, even if it means slower economic development. These values are not just abstract ideas. They are reflected in the choices people make every day. Writers, too, have their own values, which can influence how they present information. Sometimes, a writer's values align with those of the people or society they are writing about. Other times, a writer may have different values and may judge or interpret events through their own perspective. Recognizing these values is key to understanding the text fully. Identifying values in a text. To identify values in a text, look for statements that reveal what the people being written about consider important. For example, if a passage describes a community that organizes a cleanup of a local river, it suggests that the community values cleanliness, environmental health, or civic responsibility. Words and phrases like important, necessary, should, or must often signal the presence of values. Consider the following example. The villagers worked together to plant trees along the riverbank, believing it was their duty to protect the land for future generations. In this sentence, the villagers' values are clear. They believe in working together, cooperation, protecting the environment, conservation, and thinking about the future, responsibility to future generations. Recognizing the writer's values and biases. Writers may also express their own values, sometimes subtly and sometimes openly. When a writer's values influence the way information is presented, it can lead to bias. Bias can appear in the selection of facts, the use of loaded language, or the omission of alternative viewpoints. To spot a writer's values and possible biases, pay attention to word choice. Words like unfortunately, fortunately, tragic, or heroic reveal the writer's attitude toward the subject. Emphasis. What does the writer focus on? What is left out? If a text about a new factory only discusses job creation and ignores environmental impacts, the writer may value economic growth over environmental protection. Tone. Is the writer's tone positive, negative, or neutral? A positive tone toward one group and a negative tone toward another can indicate bias. For example, the government's reckless decision to allow logging in the national park would destroy irreplaceable habitats. Here, the word reckless shows the writer's negative judgment of the government's decision, and the phrase destroy irreplaceable habitats emphasizes the environmental cost, suggesting the writer values conservation. How values and biases affect environmental decisions. People's values play a major role in how they interact with the environment. Some people value economic development and may support building roads, factories, or housing developments, even if it means changing the natural landscape. Others may value the preservation of nature and advocate for parks, wildlife protection, and sustainable resource use. Writers discussing these issues may highlight different aspects depending on their own values. For instance, an article about building a dam might focus on the benefits of electricity and water supply, or it might focus on the loss of fish habitats and displacement of local communities. Recognizing these perspectives helps readers understand the full picture and consider multiple sides of an issue. Strategies for recognizing values and biases. 1. Ask whose values are being presented. Are the values those of the people in the story, the writer, or both? 2. Look for value-laden language. Words that express approval or disapproval often signal values or bias. 3. Consider what is included and what is left out. Does the text present multiple viewpoints or just one? 4. Reflect on your own values. How do your own beliefs influence your interpretation of the text? Let's check for understanding. Carefully read the following questions. Pause the video. Determine the best answer for each, and then restart the video to check your answer. How can a writer's values shape the way information is presented in a text? The writer's values have no effect on the text. B. The writer's values can influence which facts are included or emphasized. C. Values only affect the grammar of the passage. D. Values are only shown in the introduction. The correct response is B. The writer's values can influence which facts are included or emphasized. How can readers become more aware of their own biases when reading a text? By ignoring your own opinions. B. By only reading the summary of the text. C. By reflecting on your own beliefs and how they affect your interpretation. D. By focusing on unrelated topics. The correct response is C. By reflecting on your own beliefs and how they affect your interpretation. How can a reader detect possible bias in an informational text? By only reading the first sentence. B. By focusing on the writer's age. C. By ignoring the main argument. D. By considering what is included and what is left out in the text. The correct response is D. By considering what is included and what is left out in the text. If an article about building a dam focuses on the benefits of electricity and water supply, what value does the writer likely hold? O. The writer values environmental protection above all. B. The writer values economic development and job creation. C. The writer is neutral about the issue. D. The writer is critical of economic growth. The correct response is B. The writer values economic development and job creation. Conclusion. Recognizing values and biases in a text passage is an essential skill for critical reading. By identifying the values of both the people being written about and the writer, readers can better understand why certain decisions are made and how information is presented. This awareness is especially important when reading about how people change the environment, as different values can lead to very different actions and outcomes. By practicing these skills, readers become more thoughtful, informed, and responsible participants in society. This has been a production of DNJDesigns and Mathman1962. If you like this video, click on the thumbs up. If you want to be notified when new videos are posted, click the bell. And if you want to see more videos like this one, click on the subscribe button.